We're all just made up of stories.
Stories.
Yeah, we're just stories. We're just made up of stories.
I love stories.
Like limiting belief stories.
Ooh.
These little ideas we just keep telling ourselves. These little narratives that we choose to live by. We're just floating through life. Made up ideas.
I'm excited. Welcome to Modern Alchemy, friends. I am Joe Jennings. I'm an ex-corporate executive turned entrepreneur, and I'm here with my co-host,
Christina Nichols.
We're still trying to work the kinks out on the intro, and I think we should leave this in. Tell us about yourself.
I definitely think we should leave it in. It's a work in progress, just like us as humans.
Yeah,
Aww.
yeah. Tell us, give us your elevator pitch of your...
Oh, I would say, hi, I'm Christina. That would be the pitch. Just kidding. I'm Christina Nichols. I'm an energy healer, and I think that's all you really need to know about me. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, no, I'm an all... yeah, I like video games. I'm a Scorpio.
Oh.
I love Taco Bell, but I noticed if I eat it, it triggers some addiction, some Taco Bell addiction, because I didn't eat it for several months. Maybe a few months because I was trying to get a little more fit, and I had it drunkenly, and I've been craving it ever since. So I think they're drugging me.
I could eat Taco Bell at any time, but I only let myself eat it like once a year, maybe twice a year.
What are the days?
The days.
You just give yourself 2 Taco Bell days?
I'm just saying, yeah, it'll be a moment of weakness. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get Taco Bell.
So it's not like on New Year's Eve and 4th of July.
I remember the last time I actively had Taco Bell, actually, and that was more than a year ago with my friend Andy. And it took us forever to get our order in the neighborhood I'm in. It's like an hour wait.
I bet that Taco Bell was, especially if it was late, I bet that Taco Bell gets hammered.
Poppin'.
Yeah. I had it actually the night you organized that huge group on St. Pat's.
Oh, nice.
I got it on the way home. And I got so much. It wasn't a normal order. It was a double size order.
Did you eat it all?
Oh, of course.
Or did you...
It was so good.
I was going to ask if you just tasted parts of it and didn't actually eat the whole thing.
Gorged myself.
Oh,
yeah.
Good for you.
I ordered a combo meal and then 3 additional things.
I was looking at my question for today.
I love questions.
I wanted to know if you knew how to fold a fitted sheet.
No, I mean, theoretically, but I don't fold them. I just ball them up.
Does anybody fold them?
I think there are people out there folding them. I could see you folding a fitted sheet.
Yeah, right. I go for the ball method. I try and make it as small this way as possible, and then a follow-up method.
Like a roll.
Yeah, like crumple it kind of.
Do you know about do you have duvet covers and inserts? So there's this thing, and I forget.
That means, of course I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
I thought you said, oh, you're shaking your head
I'm
at
like,
me.
of course I do.
So do you know the sushi roll method of putting the duvet in the duvet cover?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It works?
It works really good. It took me probably way longer than it should have amount of time to figure out. But I become very phobic of when the duvet is always bigger than the duvet cover, or the duvet cover is always bigger than the duvet. So even if you perfectly do it.
No, you're supposed to buy a size larger of your... So I have king size duvets inside queen size duvet covers.
See, I have a king size bed, so.
You would get a California, you get like whatever the next size up is.
The California king isn't wider, it's longer.
Oh, then a lot of places put 2 in, sometimes 2 thin ones to make them appear larger. Do you have a duvet cover that has little ties in the corner so they tie to the little hooks on your duvet?
Oh, potentially.
Because that would allow you to stretch the fabric.
Yeah, so I'd say about once every couple weeks or month, I'll stand on the end of the bed and hold the corners and do that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Look inside and see if there's little ties.
I bet there. Yeah, there are. That's
then
what they're for?
You can avoid that.
Okay. For whatever reason, that feels like a Herculean task, which is dumb because it'd probably make my life easier.
Well, the next time you wash it, just when you reattach it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the amount of time it took you to figure that out.
The sushi roll?
Sushi roll. I wonder if you could equate that to the amount of time it would take you to do it the old way. The cost benefit analysis here. Did you actually gain? I mean, you gained a new skill.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, was it worth it in the long run?
I don't think it was, because that's one of those things you do so infrequently that every time I do it, I have to Google how to do it.
Oh my God. Do I need to ask you how often you wash your duvet cover?
How often are you supposed to? Maybe let me get that answer first before I answer.
So I don't wash my duvet cover as often because I have I have a fitted sheet that goes over it. So I probably wash my duvet every 4 to 6 weeks. But I have a not fitted sheet that goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it goes over it, but over my body is a fitted sheet or
a regular sheet.
A regular sheet. Thank you. Right. So my skin isn't rubbing up against the duvet all the time. But I'm assuming you don't have a fitted sheet.
No, I'm fitted sheet.
I mean, a flat
comforter.
Sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate flat sheets.
Yeah. So
I'm a fitted sheet man. Bamboo sheets are the best, by the way. I have bamboo sheets.
Better than linen?
I don't know. I guess in terms of linen sheets are extremely expensive. Bamboo sheets are mid-tier expensive, but they're hyper breathable and they are softer than cotton.
I like when they're soft.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had a linen sheet or a silk sheet. Is silk breathable?
Silk, a lot of women do silk pillowcases because silk doesn't absorb all the little oils from your face. So imagine you're sleeping in your pillow and you have all these oils from your scalp and your face getting into the fibers of the pillow. And that's why people break out.
Oh, silk rejects that.
Yeah. And also, it helps for women or people with longer hair. It helps so your hair doesn't get matted
and oily. Yeah. The cleaning of the bed items I change my sheet up whenever I'm having a female guest, which has been less frequent lately. So yeah, the duvet that's maybe quarterly duvet cover.
Okay, quarterly. That's better than I thought you were going to say.
Biannually, yeah. But I do once I'm like things getting a little grimy.
Oh my God, I wash my sheets on Fridays.
Every week?
Yes.
Wow.
Our bodies are gross.
I shower before bed most nights because I work
that makes
out
me
a lot.
feel better.
So I'd say half the days.
Although I probably shower before just because of the gym also. I don't shower before bed, but I shower in the evenings.
I didn't get good sheet habits. Like when I was a kid, I was responsible for doing laundry, so a lot of laundry was not getting done.
Oh.
Yeah. I
think there was sense.
It was when I maybe was 12 or something. When you think you want more responsibility, I want to make my lunch, and then I just didn't have lunch, or my lunch was dog shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Then it was like a kid. I didn't put a lot of effort into that type of stuff.
Yeah, because you just wanted to grow up.
I wanted the responsibility, and then when I got it, I was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, thank you.
My grandma used to make me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like a ton of them, and put them in the freezer. But they were on Italian bread. And I love my grandma so much, I felt bad telling her how disgusting it was.
It was so dry.
It was so dry and hard. And
now you got the peanut butter sticking.
She didn't use the traditional peanut butter and jelly. She used that goober stuff where they're intertwined. So the ratio is terrible of peanut butter to jelly. It was essentially a bread sandwich. But I didn't want to tell my grandma, so.
She would have been better putting a piece of butter on there for you, probably.
Like, I would have rather eaten
if it was garlic bread or something.
Bread and butter than that, for sure. I ate that for
sauce
years. Oh, that would be so good.
A little gravy.
Gravy? Do you call it gravy? I know that's a big Dago thing.
I feel like
I can say that because I'm Italian, by the way. My Italian friends all say gravy.
I wanted to know what your jelly of choice is.
Jelly?
For peanut butter and jelly.
Grape.
What's your preferred?
Grape.
Interesting.
Are you a grape or a strawberry?
I'm a rat.
Who eats raspberry? How did you get into that?
My mom.
Interesting. Yeah.
We always had a Smucker's sugar-free raspberry in the house.
Strawberry. It's the level in terms, and I've gone through this ad nauseum. It's grape, then strawberry.
Grape does not spread well. It is.
Really?
It's so chunky.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the Concord grape is a little, you kind of got to smush it.
Stress me out.
Yeah. But no, it's interesting. You're the second person I met in the last month that had a non-traditional jelly.
Maybe there's more of us out there than you think.
There probably are. The person that I talked to was like, well, I don't eat a lot of peanut butter and jellies, but maybe I do like fig or apricot. And I was like, that's the wrong tool. That's like using a $300 bottle of wine to cook with.
Apricot was also another big one at my house.
Really?
Not kidding. And fig also. I think those are three.
But you put that on a PBJ? I feel like that's a charcuterie cheese.
I feel like I've eaten that.
Wow. Okay.
My mom loves apricots, though.
Orange marmalade was a big one growing up. That was always around.
Yeah.
Not great on a PBJ, though.
No.
Yeah.
It's too bright.
The color is something, too, there. Yeah.
No, the flavor of the orange.
Yeah.
Oranges have this brightness to them.
Yeah, it's zesty.
It's almost too bright.
I don't even know where the hell we had it. It's not like a great flavor. It's very popular back then.
Yeah, they used to make a lot of desserts out of it.
Orange marmalade?
Mhm.
Oh, that sounds good.
Like in a cookie.
Ooh.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else is delightful? My cookie. Just kidding. Ha. Good thing I'm not going back to the corporate world, right?
Have you had a cucci dada? It's an Italian cookie.
It's not the way you say it.
It's called a cucci dada.
I don't think I've heard of this
I'm gonna
cookie.
link some on screen.
Actually, we need you to bring some for the next.
I will. I'll get some at a bakery.
There is a nice Italian bakery. We could go get cookies.
Italian cookies suck. They're not good. They're hard. I like a soft cookie.
There's plenty of soft cookies and hard cookies in the Italian bakery.
So I will say, what's the thing? Cannolis, amazing. Tiramisu, good. Gelato, good. But the hard cookies, the lemon ones are good though.
Are you talking like a biscotti?
Well, yeah, that's really hard. I like
But
that.
You're supposed to eat that with coffee or
Well,
tea.
most of the Italian cookies are those like hard cookies.
I like a hard cookie.
Like them.
You know why? Because I don't need to sit and max on these cookies. I need to maybe
So
hurt
like
the inside of my
crunch.
mouth slightly so I can enjoy this one cookie and then stop here.
So you want a cookie that can cause some damage. Is there a danger thing there, or is it to limit your intake?
I don't know. I'm just saying like that. I think that is like why people enjoy this harder cookie, because you're just enjoying the one cookie. You're not here like having. You're not going to indulge in 100 tiny little Italian. Well, maybe you will. Actually,
Probably
take
like
all
2
this
or
back.
3. But those are the cookies where there's the ones that have like the end dipped in chocolate, and I'll literally eat the end and throw the rest of the cookie out.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
No, but I like both sides.
Okay. I want some Italian cookies now.
But again, I think you're really Italian desserts supposed to have with coffee.
You know,
And Italians
that makes
don't have
so much
sweet
sense.
sweets. Like that isn't all that stuff really isn't too sweet.
It's not
the cookies.
Other than gelato, most of the desserts are literally made from cheese.
Well, unless it's
Mascarpone.
a cake. Yeah, I feel like unless it's a cake, which to me is supposed to be sweeter, but their cookies aren't like it's not like an Oreo.
No, I'm thinking of the
Like a
soft,
sugar bomb.
chewy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Chips
you're not going to
Ahoy.
sit and have 7 chip. You will sit and have 7 Chips Ahoy, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the point of them.
I'll
They're
go full
snackable,
sleeve.
but you're not supposed to sit and eat 7 cookies. I mean, you can't. Don't let me stop you.
Now I want to eat all cookies for dinner. Like I'm
I
going to
love
get cookies for dinner.
One of my ex-boyfriends, Queedum. Hi, Queedum.
Queedum?
Queedum.
Queedum?
He used to call me Cookie Monster.
Ah.
So funny.
Did you
That
love,
name stayed with me for my whole life.
Did you
though.
love cookies?
Yeah, I always loved cookies.
I didn't know that about you. You eat so clean.
I don't let myself eat the cookies.
Yeah, that's why I can't have this stuff in the house. I had the grocery store I go to has those giant muffins, and they had a deal. It was like buy one get one, and I got 8 of them, and they were gone in 2 days.
Were they so good?
Incredible.
See, I won't even let myself notice that there's a muffin in the store.
It
I'll
was
just walk by.
incredible.
Blinders.
Yeah, I literally put down 8 in 2 days.
I'm like, where's a bland vegetable? Let me go find that.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm just glad that people aren't still trying to like jerk kale off anymore.
I am.
Kale's gross, bro.
Well, then you're not making it right.
I don't think anyone actually likes kale.
I can make things delicious.
You got to dial it up though. Like, isn't there a better vegetable that we can just
Kale
stop?
has so many nutrients in it, and that's why people really
It's a
like it.
superfood.
But honestly, if you cook it correctly, it tastes great. Like I do like kale. I roast it in the oven. I massage the shit out of it.
Do
and
you
then
really?
I roast it.
I know you got to break the spine.
And it doesn't take that long. It cooks so fast.
Let me hit you with this. Do you think this is a big kale conspiracy? What if kale is actually like iceberg lettuce and has no fucking nutrients in it? Would it be worth it then?
I love iceberg lettuce.
It's so good.
It's so good.
How
It's
sick-
nice crunch.
How good do you feel when you order a wedge at a restaurant? Like, it's,
Oh, I don't really like blue cheese. It's one thing I
I
don't
do
really
a
like.
ranch though,
Okay.
but I feel so bougie.
Oh, when I make a salad, I prefer the iceberg because I like the vessel in which that it carries everything else.
Yeah, it adds a. Whereas the other lettucey kind of feels more leafy, rabbit foody. It actually is like a textural. It's a good time.
Delight.
I feel like I'm sidelining us pretty hard here. We'll get into the big kale thing in another episode, but I'd love to get into your topic. I'm pretty fascinated by it.
Oh, I was like, we can keep talking. This is like Bubba Gump. We could talk about kale chips and kale. Anyway.
I have had good kale chips though, just to put a bow on that. They got to really dial it up though for me to like kale.
Yeah, my opinion is when people say that they don't like a certain food, my first question is, did you have it prepared correctly? And if so, have you had it prepared another way also? Or was it just the one meal where you're like, I don't like this?
By the way, my one of my biggest red flags is people that are picky eaters slash not open to trying different foods. That is the best sign of someone being neurotic and close minded.
Oh, okay.
Like I went on a date with a chick last week, and I found out mid meal just happened the apps I ordered were not meat based, and then I started to order some meat based stuff. She's like, "Oh, I'm a vegetarian," and that's not even a picky eater. That's more of like a morality thing. And I literally had to decide in that moment: do I just never talk to this person again? And I later decided I can't date a vegetarian.
Oh, that's funny. I've heard people say this where they can't date someone with an extreme diet, but I don't know. I eat anything for the most part except for blue cheese. And I think yeah, I don't know.
Would you date someone with a weird diet?
I have. Quita, the one boyfriend I was just talking about, he is Muslim. And so he wouldn't eat pork. And this girl loves a piece of pork.
That feels compromisable. Just pork?
He's Muslim, so no pork,
No
no
pork.
booze.
No booze?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he would always say, no pork in my fork. And if, let's say, ate a ham sandwich, he wouldn't kiss me. He'd be like, go brush your teeth.
So I think, okay, I could get over the pork thing. I'm not a big pork guy, but the booze thing, and not even because I'm a drinker, just being picky with food, I'm like, you're neurotic. But then when people are,
what if they're like allergic, have a texture, again, the morality, is that neurotic still
if they're
to you?
allergic, it turns me off because then I think that they have weak biochemistry and I wouldn't want to make a baby with them.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have shit DNA. And then if it's a religious thing, I respect it. But I'm like, I love food. I love experiencing food culture. I don't want to get hammered all the time, but what if we want to go to a wine tasting? That's super fun. Well, that's off the table forever.
Okay.
So I can't experience my love language through this person.
I like the way that you're explaining this more, because before it sounded like you were just, I don't know. I wasn't sure, but this is much clearer to me. It's because you want to experience food, and food's important to you to experience, and you want someone you can do that with.
Yeah, and I also think people who are picky food people are like garbage people. Like I think if you did a test and you took the measured anxiety, neuroticism, and food pickiness would be almost like one of the top 5 traits of neurotic and anxious people. They're just weird.
I have no opinion about this. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like one of my big red flags. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, you're probably fucking mental if you like. I don't like fish. Like when's the last time you had fish? Well, one time I didn't like it, and I was like, "Did your parents not like make you eat anything?"
Okay, so my mom, she always said I was a very picky eater my whole life.
Really?
Yes, I was a very picky eater. And then one day, actually the last guy I dated, he would take me to all these restaurants. We would go out eating all the time. I tried all these new things with him, and I realized, oh no, I like everything. I just didn't like how things were prepared sometimes. That was the difference. So maybe I just needed it prepared differently. So for example, my mom always cooks meat a little more well done. I like my meat super rare. I didn't know this until later as an adult. And as a child, I used to say, no meat, no meat. I never wanted to eat meat. It was like the first thing I said.
Because it's gross when it's cooked too much.
Yeah, but I love, you give me something, you put on the grill for 2 seconds, and it's still bleeding, I will eat it.
You go rare?
Love it.
Serious?
Delicious.
So I don't mind rare, but the texture, I don't like the texture.
Yeah, so
I like mid rare.
And now my mom, I'll say, let's get this or that, and she doesn't eat anything. She's so picky.
Was she always like that?
No, she thinks she eats everything, but I'm like, oh, your everything encompassed
her little box,
this bubble,
yeah.
Right? And now I eat everything, and I'm going around the globe literally eating whatever people are putting in front of me, unless it's at a gross level I struggle with. But like, I've eaten bugs even. I mean, I eat a lot of things.
And that's the biggest thing for me is someone's openness to try. Like if you go, okay, yeah, I don't like it, but you tried it.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
As long as I can do it. So let's say that someone's not picky, but even if they're picky, but they're open, I could deal with that. Like I'll try it. I don't really like it. Because every once in a while, I dated this girl briefly. I don't remember, but she said she didn't like fish. And I was like, it was like, when's the last time you had fish? How was it prepared? It was a fish that is more fishy. It was like salmon that probably wasn't prepared properly. I'm like, have you ever had like, whitefish or
was
tilapia?
it a piece of shitty salmon that you ate?
Exactly. And I made like pecan crusted tilapia. I bought it from the store.
Oh, I was like, how delightful.
Seasoned. And she was, this is really good. I'm like, yeah, because it's a neutral fish. You just don't know what don't remove an entire, but we're going down the rabbit hole here. I think a lot of it is like my parents exposed me to a lot of food. And I think a lot of people don't expose their kids to food and they become siloed off.
Well, maybe those people aren't also exposed to food, and that's why.
Yeah, and they're garbage people. I think that's what we've deemed. Is there's a whole subset of society that is not open to food, and therefore garbage.
And by we, he means him.
I'm like monopolizing it. This is my fucking food platform here.
I love it. Well, maybe, au contraire, maybe this is just a limiting belief.
Oh.
That I don't like food or I don't like these kinds of foods. Because that's what I want to talk about today. As I got very loud. Sorry for blowing out everyone's eardrums.
I'm excited.
Okay, so what do? We tell ourselves stories all the time. Now, the stories that we're telling ourselves, are they true? Probably not. Are they little belief structures we've made up in our heads over time because we are trying to keep ourselves safe and protected? Probably. Are they serving us? Probably not. I was talking to my friend the other day and she was explaining that she was applying for a job and the salary range is twice as much as what she's making now. And she couldn't believe that she applied for it. And I told her this really interesting statistic I heard. And it was men will apply for a job they're only 50% qualified for because they're like, I can learn it. It's fine. Women will apply for jobs that they're 90% qualified
wow.
for. The confidence, I always joke like the confidence of a average white male is far superior to that of any woman sometimes. Not that this is necessarily a true statement, but I say this because in general, women will wait until it is very close to being perfect or they're totally capable, whereas men will be like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm good enough. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Hopefully I get an interview, see what happens.
So the limiting belief of a woman in that capacity is far less than that of a man, which doesn't help. So women apply for the job because all these dudes don't know what the fuck they're doing and they're out there applying for all your jobs. You can go get that job. Just pretend it. Pretend you're an average white male and then just think of all the confidence you'll get from that.
That's a really interesting statistic. I didn't know it was that high, 90%. That's crazy. But a lot I've heard a similar statistic related to dating apps where men will just swipe on anyone even if they're way out of their range, and women are preemptively worrying about being rejected, and if someone is potentially out of what they believe is their scope, they will not swipe on them, which is crazy to me because there's no pressure.
Men date up and women date equal or down.
Why is that? What's the limiting belief there?
Men have your egos and testosterone are probably driving this. Where it's like, I'm going to reach for the star. I'm going to see what I can get. And women we play it safe typically. Not every woman, but as women, we are nurturers. We're told to be a certain way, to act a certain way, that we can have certain things. And we don't always know that we can test those ideas that we're allowed to.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That you're allowed to what?
That you're allowed to like push the boundary and see, maybe I'm going to go up from here. Maybe I'm allowed to.
What's interesting is I read a statistic, didn't read it, watched it on like a podcast clip, was that relationships where the man's dating up, the women are happier. So women that date men that are measurably more attractive than them, they're like very unstable, insecure relationships. Where on the flip side, they're very comfortable and stable.
When women date uglier guys, is that what you just said?
It's better when women date uglier guys.
Interesting.
Yeah, or equal or less. So, but when the guy is more attractive, it becomes this whole, which would make sense too, especially if you're trying to make sure your partner is locked in. There'd be a lot of instability if you knew that they were.
I've never felt insecure being out with a guy that I thought was more attractive than me.
Really?
Never.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I
it's
think
definitely
that's a
objective
confidence
too.
in your relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very
And you're
confident.
confident, yeah.
So I don't know. I can't speak to that. It could definitely be a thing. I haven't experienced it personally.
Yeah.
But there are some people that like to sabotage once they have something that feels unattainable and they've attained it. Then they don't know what to do when they have it. So they sabotage it.
The belief is I don't deserve this.
Mm-hmm. Limiting, one might say.
Yeah.
So I have this article and I'm going to include it. It's this gentleman, John Sharp. He is a Harvard Medical School professor and psychiatrist. And he had a TED Talk, and the TED Talk was about limiting beliefs. It was really good. So it was this idea that we're living by this narrative that we've heard of. And unfortunately, the narrative is just one long stream of consciousness of our brains trying to protect us. And the narrative doesn't compile objective, actual facts from life. It's belief. You could have all the proof in the world that you are tall, but if you feel short, you're never going to connect the dots. Does that make sense? It's a very dumbed down example.
No, 100%. Have you ever heard of the book Psycho Cybernetics?
I don't know.
You probably have. John Maxwell, maybe? Could be. But he was a plastic surgeon, and he started incorporating psychology into his pre-procedure stuff because he would make people look perfect.
Yeah.
And they would be, did you even fix my nose? It's still huge. And he'd be like, here's the before and after. And they'd be like, no, the shading's different there. That's why it looks like that. Literally, psychologically, psychosomatically not being able to, because it's internal, man.
Yes, it's so internal. And this sounds like a very interesting book. So put a pin in that.
Yeah.
So John had this great quote: "The story you've been telling yourself about who you are and how everything always plays out." This is this limiting belief, this idea of this story that we have. And so it's just interesting because we are so many things, not just the stories that we tell ourselves or the stories that society's told us or the stories that our families have told us. We are much larger than that. But a lot of times people can't see outside of themselves to see who they really are. So think about someone that you give a compliment to and they can't take the compliment.
Yeah.
Like women, you'll be like, oh, I really like your shirt. And they're, oh, I got it on sale. Oh, I got it from this place. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Instead of just, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's like, I'm uncomfortable with the compliment that I'm receiving. So why are you uncomfortable? What is the thing that is causing you to not see the reality of who you are and live by this bias that you've put on yourself?
Yeah, because we're so much more neutral to kind to others, where especially people that are typically more successful are much more self-critical. I actually had to get good at just accepting compliments. Like, it still might be uncomfortable, but I'll just be like, thank you. And I feel zero obligation to return them because I think that dilutes the compliment. And if someone gives the get, then they don't deserve a compliment.
Yeah, and if you feel the need to give the compliment, it's probably because you feel it. You really feel it in the moment, so you want to give it.
Yeah, you know, if it's organic, I'll give it.
That's what I mean. You're not pushing.
I think a lot of people do that thing where they give one back because they're like, oh yeah, no, you look great too. Like, no, dude, take my fucking compliment.
Yeah, I would think of a compliment as a tiny little gift someone's giving you throughout the day. They don't have to do it. They're choosing to do it. My friend Dapo, he's really good at this. If he really likes something, if someone's outfit, he'll just stop them and say like, hey, I really like this, because he likes to make people feel good, just genuinely, because he likes that coming back to him. People are so nice to him because he is just so nice to everybody else.
He's a super nice, and he walked by me to go to the bathroom and was like, what's up, man? And gave me like the rock. And I was like, I just met him and you're taking time to acknowledge me and do it. I was like, this is a nice dude.
He's so sweet.
He's a good guy.
The best. I wrote down some examples of limiting beliefs in case people are confused by what I'm talking about. I'm not good enough. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too short. I'm too tall. I don't have enough time. I have too much time. I'm not smart enough to do this. I'm too smart to do this. I don't have enough experience. I have too much experience. I'll never be successful. I don't have enough money. I can't, blah, 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 fill in the blanks. I'm sure you guys have a million things that are running through your head of these stories and these narratives that we tell ourselves. But again, this is a narrative. It's not the reality of who you are. It's just this thing that you're telling you. So maybe at some point, your brain told you you're not smart enough for something because you didn't feel like you'd prepared yourself enough. So let's say in school, you never studied because I'll use myself. I never studied. I got ADD. My parents didn't think I had ADD. I definitely have it. And in school, I didn't pay attention. I was always just floating around in my little brain. Teachers would call on me and I'd say, what? I remember raising my hand multiple times and forgetting what I was even going to say or what was happening because I'd already been off day testing, right? I never got my homework done in time. I was too busy doing everything I wasn't supposed to be doing. So I wasn't a good test taker. So I thought I wasn't smart, but I'm really smart. Turns out I'm really smart. I'm just not good in an environment of a classroom where people are talking at you and there's too many things distracting me. I'm not good. But if you put me in the environment where I do thrive, I remember a lot of information. I got a master's degree and graduated at the top of my class later in life because I figured out how to study. In high school, I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
So now let's imagine everyone in my life, why are your grades so bad? Why did you get a C in this? Why did you fail this test?
God.
I don't have any good answers for that because I didn't know because I was a child and I thought I was dumb.
And what a, by the way, horrendous barometer for intelligence. School measures. You have to be smart to get good. I think you have to be smart to get good grades. Like you can't be a dum-dum and get good grades.
Sure.
But what does it really measure? It measures your ability to memorize things.
Complacency.
And a lot of it is also how good were your parents at making you sit down and do your homework. I never did my homework, ever. But I was a really good test taker.
I wasn't good at test taking because I wasn't paying attention. I remember when I was taking, was it the ACTs or something? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
I remember sitting in that classroom and I was just like thinking about things and daydreaming and then looking over at the clock and being like,
you were like,
I gotta get on these questions.
Turbo ADD kid.
Yeah, I just remember it was like early in the morning and I was like kind of sleepy. I remember sitting there and like twirling my pencil. I can just picture that day.
Just getting lost in thought.
Yeah, I didn't want to be there. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like this means nothing to me. I remember at the time thinking this is not valuable. And even reading the questions, getting confused in the questions, not because I couldn't do it, because now I'm thinking about the time pressure and I'm freaking out and I'm not actually reading the words. I'm aware of the time constraint that I'm under and that I have to get this done really quickly and rushing through it. But those questions are designed for you to pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Depending on the section.
Not me.
Yeah.
Not a math problem. Not when I got two trains coming at me from both directions.
That's the one I did the worst at, the math section. I scored really high on my ACT.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Not a good test taker.
But that's the thing. For whatever reason, I was a really good test taker.
Yeah, I wasn't. And so I just thought I wasn't smart enough. I couldn't do certain things. I also thought I wasn't an athlete. I thought for the longest time that I wasn't an athletic person. And I'm extremely athletic. I can do any sport. Maybe I'm not the best at it, but I'm super scrappy and I'm really strong and I have these really good abilities. Unless it's running. I have 5 foot legs, so.
I wonder, that's so fascinating to me. So that's interesting. Because yeah, you are really smart. Like you're hyper intelligent. But so did you feel dumb as a kid?
Yes.
What was that? Yeah.
Sometimes I felt dumb. And what happened is when I first went off to college, I just tried to use my confidence to back me up. And I wouldn't always speak up in classrooms because I thought I was dumb.
You thought you were like,
I was like not as smart.
So did you think were you able to bifurcate the intelligence? Like, I'm just not good at school? Or were you like, I'm not good at school and therefore I am not smart?
It took me a minute to really wrap my head around it.
To separate the two things?
Yes, because I would feel some way sometimes and not other times. But then when I look back, I had a lot of really intelligent friends. One guy I used to hang out with in high school, he's a surgeon at a children's hospital now.
Wow, he's working Lurie's?
He is so smart.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Barb, she had a perfect score, I think, on the ACTs. All of her sisters, they're genius level smart. So like I have a lot of genius friends, which means you are the company you keep, right? Like I wasn't obviously a dum-dum.
I know you were going to add me to that list, but you don't have to.
Joe, you're already there. I'm hanging out with you right now.
I wanted to make a joke earlier about the guy taught at Harvard, and I was like, oh, well, maybe if you taught at a better school, but I missed
what a loser.
I missed the window. But that is so fucking wild. So how did you overcome that? Because again, and I feel like I bragged about me getting a good ACT score, which was weird. I was like, I did fucking good on that. You're really fucking smart. And so, yeah, like how did you Is that what kind of started to put the pieces together?
Going into college, then the structure of the
Real
whole education is different. So that's where I started to realize, like, oh, I'm not so dumb. Maybe I'm dumb in some things.
Strategically, it was not the setting. And they've done studies where a reason why most women are better in school is because little boys, it's not that they have ADD, it's just men are more geared to be like, ah. So that's children that have more hyperactivity, the school environment's horrible for them. And so it almost overemphasizes it.
Yes.
It's interesting that you had that because it's more rare with girls.
So my doctor, I got diagnosed a couple years ago of the ADHD because I was so stressed out at work and I was falling behind and I was really struggling. And the doctor gave me all these tests. And she said, oh, what I find in women is maybe it just wasn't as well known that little girls could have it because you don't see it in them as opposed to boys, like you're saying. So boys externally, they're moving. The women internally are moving. So you don't see what's happening up here, but I'm just lost in thought. I'm not twitching all day necessarily, but my brain is going away. Whereas little boys, their little bodies want to go away.
Dude, so it might even be just children in general, but women have a better way of...
They didn't know what to look for. They didn't know what signs to look for, potentially. And maybe they weren't looking at them from me because
pretty easy to see the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yeah. And so the doctor said, oh, you probably just grew up and you learned how to manage this the best you could.
Wow.
And I did. Like, I'm very good under pressure because I have ADHD, right? So I want to do everything last minute and then I'm going to get it done because I know it has to get done.
Is that an ADHD thing?
Yes, 1,000%.
I 1,000%
we procrastinate
everything
into the last minute.
And I can get it done in like a fraction of the time and it's good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to just do that? Something's due on Friday and you do it Monday and then your whole week you're like...
Who are those people?
I don't think they exist. I think that's only on social media.
I wish. John goes on to say later in the TED Talk that these limiting beliefs, they keep you in a negative state of mind, hindering you from new opportunities and experiences while wreaking havoc on your self-esteem and self-awareness.
For sure.
Hello. Yeah. Perception versus reality is a whole concept that people aren't aware of, right? They don't even know how they show up in the world versus how they think they show up in the world. And that I find the most interesting. When people think that they are a certain way and then the reality is they're a completely different way and there's a full disconnect between one and the other.
One thing I noticed with the perception is reality thing is it's kind of a double-edged sword. Some people are overly something and they're Delulu, which good for them. I kind of envy people that you look at them and you're like, man, they're like really on it, but there's a gap, but good for them. But then I think what I fall into is the other way, where people see things in me that I suppress, and I'm like, people tell me I come off really confident, and I'm like, if you knew what was going on in my brain, you might not feel that way. So I'm glad I present like that.
That is the way to start retraining and rewiring your brain, though. So just because we have the limiting beliefs doesn't mean we have to sit here. So the first thing I would recommend is having the self-reflection, and people do not like self-reflection.
It's hard.
So you could ask someone you love, which would probably be super difficult, forewarning, or you could start by journaling, being aware of your thoughts. Like, how am I thinking out throughout the day? How am I talking to myself? What are the things I say to myself when I'm with myself, essentially? And then working back from there. We don't want to admit that we have any more flaws than we do because sometimes humans, we're really fragile. Our egos are really fragile. Who we are really fragile. But if you could break free from this limiting belief and allow yourself to have your dreams, whatever it is that you really want, what you've always wanted. If I told you that your dreams are on this little platter right in front of you, you just have to reach a little bit farther. You have to get past your limiting beliefs. Wouldn't you want to do that?
It's essentially limiting beliefs plus fear of judgment, I would say, are the two things combined that create this dumb ball of stopping people from conquering.
Well, I would
goals.
say for you, maybe.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Judgment for everybody.
What will other people think? And then my limiting beliefs. That's my unsolvable knot.
Yeah, like I also would agree with the what would people think? And I know that that's not mine. That's my mom. My mom cares about what people think. I really don't care what people think, but I've learned to care what people think from my mom. And that has given me a limiting belief on how I can show up in certain areas and how I have to be or not be.
What do you think it was about those generations where there was a lot more emphasis on the keeping up appearances?
Because
I feel that way about maybe older generations and still some people, but it doesn't seem to be as prevalent as people get younger.
Are your parents first generation?
They're second. No, my great people were from the old country.
Okay, so my parents are first generation.
Oh.
And I think part of that is when I just think about America as a whole, America isn't that old, right? So you have all these nationalities that are coming over to this country, and we're all in this little melting pot. So if I think about our parents' parents, you probably didn't have much at that time. Maybe if your family had already been here, you're probably more established. My grandparents didn't have much when they came to America.
Yeah.
My grandma was 7 and she came over in a boat from Austria.
Wow.
Maybe she was 8.
Wow.
She didn't speak English. So she didn't have anything. So I think what happened in my family's lineage, at least here and their time in America, you don't have much. And so you are just really prideful. You got your ass over here to this country. You didn't know what you were going to do. You figured it out. And everything you have is because you created it into your world, and you become really prideful of that. And also, you don't want to show the lesser parts, right? You want to just keep up this front. I think that is where all of this stems from.
Yeah, like we're doing great. American dream.
Also, societally, let's think about this. People didn't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
So if you had a problem in your marriage or your husband was cheating on you back in the 50s, nobody's talking about that.
About it.
They're not. They used to have these housewife diets where they'd be like, have an egg and a glass of wine and a cup of coffee all day, and you'll be fine.
And a lewd.
Oh, she's cranky. She must be on her period. But we're not going to use the word period. God forbid. Dick Van Dyke, what did they have? Like 2 beds in the master bedroom?
Twins, yeah.
It's just society probably fucked all these people up. It's not our parents' fault. They are doing the best that they could.
I didn't even think
from their
of that.
parents.
There was so little. Like everyone's dad was at that time was a veteran who had 0 therapy or psychiatric care.
No, poor
and
guy.
Everyone's mom was 20. So yeah, I'm sure that would definitely make people
20
jacked up.
And she probably wasn't allowed to have a checking account.
No,
she wasn't allowed to have a business. God forbid an opinion.
My grandma wanted to be. She was a really talented pianist, and she wanted to go to college and study music. And my grandpa's dad was a doctor, and her dad, Grandpa Janata, was essentially, you're going to marry Dick Palmisano. And why would you need to go to school? Why do you need to go to college? What are you going to do with that? You're going to have kids. With Dick Palmisano.
You might be a savant, but we're going to suppress that.
100%. You'll be taken care of. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. That would definitely make you want to keep up appearances, though, especially if things were probably very unhappy. Then it's okay. Well, how do we make sure that I didn't even think of that. I mean, not saying that, but I know my grandparents when they were young were not happy.
Okay, so now let's go back to the 1950s housewife example. So I am a housewife, and my husband's cheating on me, and I'm eating this egg, wine, coffee diet every day. Right?
Smoke a cigarette if you're hungry.
Obviously smoking. What do you mean? What's not even a question? Like my hand was so natural. And now my house shambles on the inside. I don't want you, nosy next door neighbor, to know that everything is a disaster over here. I need to keep it up. I need to act prim and proper. I need you to think that I'm fine because I'm now deflecting off of me and I can project onto you.
And everyone would have just benefited if they all went, things are not great. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and no one shared information. So it's very isolating. So when I think about why people are the way that they are, I try to zoom out and look at the totality of what is happening in that time. And again, I can only speak to my own family.
Sure.
And all the messes and things that have happened in my family lineage, as most families have a lot of crazy stories, right? So considering that, that's where I come from with this.
That's fascinating. Yeah. What kind of limiting beliefs do you see with your clients? What are some of the most common themes?
People don't think that they're worthy.
What's up with that?
It's
I can relate to that, man. Where does that stem from? When people are like so worthy, like you can tell, those people who just fall ass backwards into success because they I'm so worthy.
Delusional.
But what is that? I want that.
Worthiness is a lack of self-love. So if you want to increase your worthiness, you need to give love to yourself. Find a way to love yourself more. What does that mean? That means being kinder to yourself, allowing yourself the happy thoughts, not necessarily the negative, deranged, limiting belief thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see people, they think loving themselves is like giving themselves a sweet treat. But if the sweet treat's slowly killing you, it's not really loving yourself.
Oh.
It's finding. So what I'm trying to say is, I find that sometimes people find excuses in their day to show themselves love, and they're not actually showing themselves love. They're doing the opposite. They're showing themselves love in the way that they think they need versus what they actually need.
It's indulgence first, whatever. Yeah.
And then what happens is indulgence actually has a negative impact. And now they hate themselves even more, and they're pulling themselves away from worth. So worthiness is giving yourselves the things that aren't always so easy to come by. And that would be like a positive thought or positive reinforcement.
So it's more about self-talk and self-treatment?
Self-treatment. What is the best for you? What is truly the best for you? Not what you want, not what you need. What is the best for you?
Man, that's, you know what? I've never thought about it like that. It's not like an unconditional love. It's I'm going to use the word disciplined love, where you actually make yourself feel better because you follow through with things, because you know they're the best thing to do.
Yeah. Great example, going to the gym. Does someone who loves themselves, are they going to allow themselves to sit on a sofa and not move for 24 hours? Unless maybe they're not feeling well? Or are they going to say, okay, I don't want to do this and I'm just going to get up and do it? Cleaning the house. How's the space around you? How's your environment? That's another thing. You don't have to be crazy about it, but do you care about how your space is? Is it something that makes you feel really good to be in? Does it foster an environment for you to also be your best self?
I always think about if someone else that I loved lived here, would I allow this to look like this? That's the kind of my barometer of living space.
Yeah.
Care. Like, dude, I would not leave that like that if I had someone that I loved here, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, like if for God forbid something happened and you passed away tomorrow and people had to come into your house, how would you feel about that?
Oh, I've never thought of that. I do always watch porn on private browsing though.
There we go.
Yeah, so that the browser clearing is not even an issue.
Thank God.
Yeah, I've already thought that through. But I should think about the other thing.
We know our brain's trying to protect us, and that's really nice, but like we can give it a day off. You can just start intention. I fucking want to scream the word intention from the rooftops, and people go, what's that word? No, intention's stupid. That doesn't mean anything. Intention, everything starts with intention, okay? You have an idea. And then you take action on the idea. There's an intention to take action on the idea. Yeah, have you ever met someone and they're like, oh, I was going to do that. Oh, I was going to do that. Well, you didn't take the intention, so you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So if you take intention, then you do it. So intention, I'm going to intend to be nicer to myself. I'm going to intend to pay attention to how I'm treating myself and thinking about things and how I'm approaching my day-to-day life. Intention, starting there, will allow you to break free from some of these limiting beliefs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So are you saying intention is the better brother of should? There's more actual weight behind it if you intend to do something versus I should do this. Should's almost like I'm not going to, but I should. Intention's like, it's my intention that I do this. Okay.
I'm trying to think of, is it called a carabiner?
Yeah, the thing that you do for mountain climbing.
Yes, it's like your little carabiner is your intention. And the intention is going to hook action versus the thought together. I'm taking the intention, I'm putting it out there into the universe. I'm saying that I'm going to do this thing. And now I'm also making a little mini contract with myself because I'm setting the intention. So I'm like feeling pretty serious about this thing, whether I take action or not. You're planting a seed, and that's all we really need. We need to plant a seed so we can make the change and we can rewire our brains.
I love that. And also carabiners are really cool. When I was in high school, I had like 6 on my backpack. not
would
for mountain
agree.
climbing.
Yeah, nobody's mountain climbing in Illinois. So funny. So Mr. John, in his TEDx, he gave some other examples of ways to overcome. So identifying where the narrative diverges from reality. So if people are always saying to me in college, you're really smart. You're really smart. At some point I went, oh, maybe I am kind of smart. Because the narrative is diverging from the reality of what people are telling me.
Oh my God.
Let's say you're at work and you think you're just a fine worker and that maybe you didn't work as hard. Maybe there was one day you weren't feeling good and you didn't show up at your normal 100%. You showed up at 80%, but your 80% is still far exceeds all the other people. And then come your mid-year review, your boss says to you, I can't believe all the good work you did this year. That was incredible. Thank you so much. But the whole time you were being hard on yourself, something isn't matching up. If someone in your external life is telling you something that doesn't match up with the story that you're telling yourself, red flag. There should be fireworks going off. Pay attention. Shots like a flare gun. Oh, wait. Why are people telling me this, but I believe this?
Yeah.
Start there.
Let me ask you this then. So, because I've had a couple of things like that. So my mom was a single mom. And so I never felt feminine, but I, at one point, was trying to tap into more, thinking I needed to tap more into my masculine energy. But then so many people are, dude, you were like so masculine. And I was like, but maybe I don't, it's like, maybe it was just, it's the self-doubt route. But then that was a very easy belief to challenge and then go, okay, well, yeah, I am masculine. Bam. And that one went away. But the one with confidence where people are like, you emote very confidently, but inside I'm still very I mean, I feel like a lot of insecure overachievers, which I am, always have self-doubt. So when it's a more difficult belief, but you have all the external forces are saying, so I know I need to challenge it, but then what does that process look like?
Well, let's start from the beginning. I know I need to challenge it. I would say, and make the intention that I'm going to find examples where my mind is wrong.
Oh.
So that's what I mean by intention. It's not this big activity you have to do right away. You're just stating, I'm going to pay attention to my thoughts and how I'm talking to myself and how my external forces or factors are showing up differently than what I'm thinking.
And so then when the mind comes in and tries to hit you with that not good enough, and you can go, oh, that's my cue to ask, is that actually true?
Yes. So I've lost 8 pounds in the last 2 months. And if I felt fat, quote unquote fat or chubby tomorrow, I'd have to go, oh, wait a minute. All these people keep telling me over the last couple of days, you look so skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am not.
And you
fat.
have the measuring stick actually of the weight as well. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So my internal eating disorder brain is like, oh no, you're very fat. And then people in my external world are saying, oh, my friend Lauren said my neck looks thinner. I was like, thank you so much. I didn't even know it could get thinner. What a lovely compliment.
I love that.
You know?
Yeah.
So dumb, but it's true because she's reinforcing the thing that I wasn't thinking about myself.
Ah, yeah.
The other thing is you can give yourself permission to cut away the things that no longer serve you.
Wow.
Sometimes we feel like we have to hold on to these things. You don't have to hold on to them. You can also set the intention, I'm going to try to not do this so much. I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to be a little nicer to myself. I'm going to not allow myself to indulge in these thoughts anymore.
Like every other time, just go, okay, I'm not going to indulge this right now.
Yeah.
Like how you quit cigarettes.
Pivot. I'm going to drink a glass of water. I'm going to do something to distract myself right now. I'm going to do the worm in the living room so I can think about something different than what I need to think about right now.
Was that in the TED Talk?
Yes.
The Harvard doctor.
He stops in the middle of What if it was a dance battle in the middle, but the dance battle is just him against his limiting beliefs of the worm?
Whoa. That's so
blow your mind.
Meta.
The other thing that was mentioned, this is really important.
His limiting beliefs of doing the worm. And he's like, I'm going to conquer my limiting belief right now. And he just drops on the floor out of nowhere. And everyone's like,
it just is really quiet from the shot.
Standing ovation.
Oh, maybe that. Like on Giggly Squad, my favorite podcast. There is one of the hosts on Giggly Squad. She will stop in their live shows and she does the worm, regardless of outfit.
The worm?
She's the best. Yeah, Hannah Berner. They're the
Whoa,
best.
she have autism? Why did I say it like that?
Do you?
Potentially.
I once heard this guy say, "A touch of the tism."
The touch of the tism. Just a touch.
I don't know if we're allowed to keep that in, but it really tickles me every time I think of a touch of the tism.
Hey, we're neurodivergent positive here. We both have ADHD.
Hard.
Which actually technically is not neurodivergent, or it's not clinically neurodivergent. Neurodivergent is actually more for people on the spectrum, but I think socially people are trying to fit in and be special, and so.
Well, one of my closest friends is autistic,
Mhm.
and I love her, so fan of the community.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we all have a touch of the tism.
I probably have a little.
Okay. Outcome. Identify where the narrative diverges from reality. 2, my favorite. Question everything. I had a psychology professor and he used to say, question everything. Just because someone told you something doesn't mean it's true. Question everything. Oh, you should do it like this. Well, should I? This is how I believe this. So this should be your belief too. Should it? My favorite thing. Oh my God. My favorite thing to say to people when I'm out. A lot of women struggle dating, and that not just women, a lot of people struggle in dating. I get it. And they will say, it's really hard out there. And in my brain, I'm like, that's not my belief. For you, I'm not even trying to date right now. So don't tell me it's hard to date when I'm not even trying to date. I don't want your belief and your ickiness on me. Because when I'm ready to date, I bet it's going to be really easy for me to date. I'm a great dater. I love dating. I think it's super fun.
Yeah.
So
I think you're a good selector is the big thing.
That's nice.
Yeah. Well, is that why women have a hard time dating? Because women don't have a lack of options. Are they just picking the wrong guys?
I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great topic. I'd
that
love
comment
to talk about
fascinated
it.
the crap out of me. Yeah.
But anytime someone says something to you in your head, you don't have to say it out loud unless you want to. Sometimes I do. Just say it for you. Oh, it's really hard to find a job out there for you. I don't know what your skill set is versus my skill set.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know how to apply for a job, and I do.
Yeah. It's interesting how certain limiting beliefs are easier to reject. If someone said that job thing to me, I'd be like, yeah, you need to kill that limiting belief, bro. But
Question
someone
it.
says the dating thing, I'm like, totally relate. But like, still a limiting belief.
Still.
Yeah.
Also, be nice to yourself. Nobody else can be nice to you. You have to be nice to you. And if you're not nice to you, so Joe, if you're not nice to you, why should I be nice to you?
Yeah.
If you don't respect yourself, why should I respect you? I still will, but why should I?
It's because you're a good person, but if you're willing to give yourself lower levels of respect, you'll also accept lower levels. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is mindset. You want to hack everything? Be nice to yourself. It's free. It's maybe not easy, but it's something you can do and something you can work on all day long. There's no excuse.
What has been the best breakthrough you've had with helping people kind of be more nice to themselves with your clients?
Honestly, it's energy healing. I feel like I always bring it back to that because I believe in it so much, but it's sometimes it's just stuff that you're so stuck in, you can't move it on your own.
Is there any common themes where people typically it stems from X or category of thing?
Yeah, the worthiness.
Mm.
A lot of it is worthiness.
Where does that come from?
Worthiness and security.
Mm.
And the security, that is like a whole can of worms we don't have time for.
It's so many different categories.
Yes, because security means so many different things, so many different people.
Yes,
and maybe the security isn't for you. It's maybe your parents were trying to keep you secure and now you're holding on to their limiting beliefs.
Oh, God. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. When you drill humans down to the core of their issues and problems, we are so alike. We are so alike, and it gets lost in the day-to-day because we're wrapped up in ourselves.
Mm.
We're not worrying about what Joe's problems are. We're worrying about Christina's problems.
But
We
they're
don't have
also
time for Joe's
categorically similar.
They're so
Maybe the
similar.
root's different, but categorically they're
Yes.
almost all the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you ask people what they want and what they need and where they're struggling, overarching themes
Wow. Yeah, and you get to see that firsthand.
all the time.
I just know what's going on in my dumb brain. My smart brain.
Perfect example.
Call it myself. I am smart.
So
I love you.
now
Jen.
it's time to leave the old story behind. You don't have, Oh, I love that. I loved it. You just because the story's been going on this way for this long, and this is how it's always been. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't have to be like that anymore. Just because it's always been like this doesn't mean it needs to continue to be like this. That's a lame ass excuse.
Yeah.
Get over it. Find a way to get past it. You don't have to do it by yourself. Find help if you need help. Journal. Talk to yourself. Take action. Think of you as a child. This is my favorite thing when I talk to clients, sometimes when they're struggling later. How would you take little you? If you had you as a 3-year-old who was so funny, you'd say, oh my God, little Joe, he's so funny and he's so smart and he's so cute. And look at him. He doesn't even know how to feed himself properly. It's so cute. We would give him all the permissions.
Yeah.
Why can't we give ourselves permission now?
Yeah. Wow.
Why is it so different? Why are we so hard against ourselves?
Some of my best breakthroughs have been when I've done that, where I think of my child self.
Yeah.
And I actually, from the artist way, she called herself little something. So when I pose myself questions in my journaling, I call myself LJ, little Joe. But I'm asking my child self, which I believe is our core self.
Yes.
It's all the layers that we've added are not there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's so pure.
Yeah, just like pure, this is what I actually want. No ego, no blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he hasn't had heartbreak yet. The thing that he's probably upset about is his bedtime, you know what I mean? Or not getting a toy. But how lovely.
And they like that the being of the child self just wants love.
They want to be around people and they want to love them and they want to be loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so simple.
That's like itself in the purest form.
It's beautiful.
And probably fun. It's like love and fun. That's me.
Yeah, they're using their imagination.
Yeah.
They're creative. Kids, you ever see a kid put his outfit together? You're like, wow, this is an interesting choice.
A lot of colors.
And they're like, I love it. I want to wear this every day. Don't ever take it off of me. I'm so confident.
Polka dots and stripes all day.
What a blessing. So you don't have to hold on to this false security. You can reshape and reform your beliefs. We can work on positive reinforcement, the energy healing, journaling. You can really do the self-reflection and try and get to the core of your wound however you want to do that. There's a million free resources on the internet. Also, spend some time with yourself. There's noise going on in your life all the time. Get some quiet time so you can have some self-reflection and self-care. It's really important. I know Joe mentioned the other day he was talking to his dad, and his dad was encouraging him to go golfing, which I also encouraged him to do because it allows the fun and the play to happen in life. And we need to include that. And I think golfing, then you can use this one. I think golfing is a form of self-care, right? You're getting in tune with your body. You can't hit a ball if you're in your head too much. Anyone knows that. If you're trying too hard, that ball is going to bloop, and maybe you won't even touch the ball. Maybe you're just going to whiff.
Yeah.
But if you are taking a moment, centering yourself, what do people do when they golf? They like sit at the tee, they adjust their shoulders, they check in with their body. How's my stance? Where are my hips? Are my feet planted? What's my grip like? And then they do their backswing and they don't rush it. They just take a second. All of that is self-care.
Wow. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. It's the ultimate getting out of one's head. When you golf, it's funny, I'll go and, hey, we should catch up, man. Let's play around. You don't talk about anything. It's golf. You talk about golf, maybe a couple pieces of combo. But when you're golfing, you're so locked in on golf, even though every shot is minutes apart.
Yeah.
It's the strangest phenomenon.
Yeah, you're bullshitting as you're maybe going up to the tee. You're bullshitting probably as you get onto the green.
But it's literally all related to what's happening. It's the weirdest phenomenon because I go with my cousin pretty frequently and I'll be like, oh, I want to catch up. There might be like 3 sentences where we're like, what's going on? Quick. And then the rest of the time is just about what's happening. It's such a strange but cool phenomenon because you're so ever present and you have to detach mentally because if you overthink, you play like crap.
Yeah. And even if you aren't athletic, it doesn't have to be that. It could be like, I'm a crafty girl. I love a craft.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing a craft, I'm probably focused on the craft I'm doing. I'm just allowing and being and in flow.
Yeah. That's what it is. You're out of your head into the, I think doing things physically can be really good for that. That was a good list.
Oh, get to the core wound. allow yourself to take action and think of yourself as a child again. That was the last thing. So tiny Christina, baby Christina, little kid Christina. I have a picture of her on the fridge. I weirdly have a lot of photos of myself as a child.
I love that idea.
And it's intentional because I love her and she's perfect. And I wasn't always nice to myself. But I look at her and I'm like, oh, she's perfect. I love you. Like, I love you. And like, I really love myself now.
That's such a good idea and probably so awkward for people in the beginning.
So find a cute photo of yourself. You know, and then maybe it's with a family member and they go, oh, look how cute we are here. It won't be awkward. You'll love it.
And
I can't believe I cried.
This is like because you have so much self-love for your baby self. Is that what this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She is perfect.
Yeah. I want to get a baby picture myself.
Go get it. Everybody go get a baby picture.
I think this is a really cool life hack, bro, that you just shared with the world.
I mean, you've been gatekeeping baby pictures. I feel like I should show the plate.
You have a plate of yourself as a child?
You never noticed it?
No. All right, for anyone who can't see what's happening because it's off camera, Christina's grabbing a baby plate. She doesn't want her butt in frame. No way. I've never seen that.
It's right when you walk out of the bathroom.
That is incredible. I've never noticed that. The big reveal.
I'm such a crier. Okay, now
this is Christina's.
We're cutting. I'm back.
Baby plate. Oh, can you get closer to the camera with that? You can even put it on my camera that's next to you. Like,
I think that's pretty close.
Oh, that is incredible. I'm curious why they went for the black and white.
My mom had this made for my godmother. And then when I saw my godmother a couple years ago, she gave it back to me. She goes, I thought you should have this.
That's amazing.
And I was like, where did this thing come from?
Has she ever eaten on it?
She said no.
Have you ever eaten on it?
I haven't. I made a little Greek princess necklace.
What's a Greek princess necklace?
Oh, I have. Sorry, it's just a little necklace that says Greek princess. But
it literally says that.
I've been joking that when I get married, I'm gonna like serve this.
That's incredible. I think you need a whole set. I would eat on mine, but I wouldn't. If I only had one, I wouldn't. But I would get multiple so that I could eat on them. Why do people?
My mom said this was a thing back then.
Why do? Oh yeah, display plates.
It's washable.
100%. Why do people not have plates of their faces more?
Well,
to eat on. I want a plate of my baby self to eat on so bad now. Imagine how fun that would be.
We're gonna unpack that in the next episode.
Is that okay? Is that like a whole thing? You think?
I don't know.
I think it'd be hilarious to have guests over and there's food on their plate, and as they start to eat,
no, can you
imagine?
Like,
is that your face?
No.
Like, yeah, it's me as a baby.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine? I'm dating this guy. We're getting really serious, and then one day he comes over, and I don't tell him, and the meal's on this plate, and then I serve him his meal, and as he's eating, like a little eyeball pops out.
Gets like the last piece of mashed potato, and he's like, "Is that a baby?" What do you say to little
me and Christina would like to
What would you say to baby Christina to close
baby
this
Christina
episode?
Would like you to like and subscribe this episode. She would like you to tell her friends that big Christina, adult Christina is a crier and baby Christina is perfect. And then she would also, oh my God, if you have weird child memorabilia like this,
oh my God,
I will fall over twice. If you could tag me, send it to me, email me. I would delight in that.
Please. Yeah.
Delight.
Oh my God, I think you just found our thing. And also click the link in the description if you want to buy one of Christina's baby plates. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe. Have an awesome day.
This is priceless.